Okay, so good morning, everybody. Creating Successful Habits. This is taken from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. We're only going to have a couple of quick slides this morning, and we're going to have a quick discussion. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is when you think about making a habit, you want to think of the difference between making a goal of changing a habit or implementing a new habit, the difference between that and seeing yourself in the new identity as that person who does that habit. So he gives a lot of examples. Just basically, you want to be thinking of in terms of, say, if someone is trying to quit smoking and their buddy offers them a cigarette during the cigarette break. You typically say, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit." So that's you kind of put you in a box as someone who's still smoking, but you're trying to change your habit. When you even say the word trying rather than I'm quitting, you put yourself in that position of a smoker that's still smoking. But if you say, "No thanks, I don't smoke," or "I'm not a smoker," then it's a whole different mindset. It puts you subconsciously, it's telling yourself, you're creating or bringing on a new identity. Same thing with eating sweets or exercising. If someone says, "Hey, let's go exercise," and you say, "Yeah, I think that would be good. I'm trying to start exercising more." You're going to be definitely less motivated to go with them than if you say, "Yeah, I'm a health conscious person," or "Yes, that sounds good because I'm really interested in prolonging my health or my physical fitness." Same thing if you want to slow down on your drinking. Someone invites you out after work, say for some drinks, and say, "Hey, yeah, let's go out for some drinks." "No, thanks. I'm trying to cut down my drinking." You're going to be much more susceptible to the pressure than if you just internalize the fact that, "No, I'm someone who is more responsible drinker. I'm someone who enjoys watching my budget and not spending too much money on the weekdays." Whatever particular type of self-image you're trying to foster by eating less sweets or drinking less or exercising more or whatever it is. If you think about your new identity in that way, it's going to give you a lot more motivation to say yes when you want to say yes and say no when you want to say no. So that's one of the first things that he talks about in the book, is thinking about it in terms of what is the new identity you're trying to encapsulate. The second thing that we want to think about is you don't just set goals without any kind of an infrastructure. Saying, that I'm going to drink a liter of water a day, or I'm going to, work out 3 times this week. That's a great goal and it's a great way to start, but you have to really support that goal with actions and I call it infrastructure to make sure that you have a much higher chance of doing it. So example would be laying your running shoes right next to your bed every night when you go to sleep, so that they are right there. You almost trip over them as you get out of bed. So you'll remind yourself, "Oh yeah, I'm supposed to go running, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 2 miles before I go to work." Or, putting the low-fat milk up on the top shelf in the refrigerator, so it's the first thing you see rather than down on the bottom of the door on the bottom shelf. Or something that I actually do is put water bottles all over the house, in the car, on your desk, in your office, by the doorway going out the kitchen, so that, whenever I'm in the house, like I even have my water bottle right here, right now. But, it makes it so much more convenient, makes it so much easier to do those things that you're doing. He even talks about taking the TV remote, and every time you finish a movie, you put it back up on the shelf in the little basket, so that next time you come into the living room, it's not just sitting there looking at you on the coffee table. You have to go find it. And he talks about the difference between making good habits really, really easy and making, bad habits you're trying to get rid of really, really hard to do. And he even talks about the good habit versus bad habit. He says, no habits are either good or bad. They serve a purpose. They satisfy a need in some way that you're craving. And we're going to talk about that next week, actually, in the next part 2, talking about the cue and the craving. But, he talks about make habits that you want to do more of easy and convenient. Make habits you want to do less of difficult and inconvenient. So I'm going to open it up to discussion right now. I'm going to stop the share. And we'll just talk about this for a few minutes. I'd love your thoughts on anything that you have done in the past where you've tried this and it's either worked or hasn't worked, and how you can maybe use this thought process to create some new good habits. Any thoughts?
I don't know. Only thing I can think of is like when I did Atkins for a while and I dropped like 50 pounds. It's just, it was easy. I just gave away everything that was carb related and just kept basically meat and stuff in the fridge. So.
Okay, so you got rid of the cues that are
making it convenient.
Make it inconvenient. Take the cues away.
Inconvenient to go to the store to go get anything, and it's like, what do I got? Oh, I got chicken in the fridge. Okay.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. And so it really does work in any number of things. Anybody else have any thoughts?
I like the idea of the mindset. That what went through my mind when you were talking about this was Yoda. There is no try. There is only do or die.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's. He brings up a lot of really, really great points in this book. And, the one about the mindset, not just changing a habit and not just trying to drink more water, stop eating chocolate, stop smoking, exercise more. Really, the identity of that person who does those things just regularly. The fitness-minded person, the person that's, conscious of their budget, the person that's conscious of their health and their weight, the person that's conscious of not wasting time watching mindless TV shows. That is a big difference from what we've talked about over the years of saying I'm going to create this habit or I'm going to set this goal. We talk about the wording of the goal, and that's important, and we'll actually talk about that a little bit next week as well. But is actually a whole different concept of the mindset of the identity of the person that just normally does these things. So I really like that.
I'd like to, as a test case, take this for exercising for me.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Because some of the things where you're talking about good things, I don't want to give up sweets.
Oh, yeah. Well, everything in moderation, like they say.
But I do want to integrate exercise into my life. I've done a very successful job of that before cancer, and now I need to redo that. Start thinking of fun thing as go exercise. Go take a walk. I finally figured out a neighborhood walk that I could just take just for just for 250 steps mid-morning or whatever, mid-morning and mid-afternoon. So you get up and you keep the blood flowing, because if you don't, you get sleepy.
Yeah, exactly. So
I need to start doing stuff like that.
That's another thing. What does a health-minded person do rather than grab another cup of coffee at 2 p.m? They get up off the desk and they go walk around the block or around the backyard for 10 minutes and get the blood flowing again. So yeah, absolutely. Those are great ideas.
Well,
Anybody
even
else?
I think,
Go ahead, Christina.
even yesterday, I think I told you how I just joined the club, and then, but because of that, I have to think of ways to justify the fees. So then that means I have to go X amount.
Yep.
and then because of that, I have to put they have open place, so I have to put it on my calendar already and say, okay, I'm gonna go at least twice a week in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
And I had to put it as a reminder, like as a calendar item, so then I'll go, and then so then I can make a habit out of it.
Yeah,
But,
exactly. And that's, we're pretty lucky nowadays. We have a lot of electronic tools, so we can put calendar reminders, alarms on our phone. I'm still kind of old school. I use a lot of stickies. I have a paper calendar, book that I carry with me. So I put stickies on there about things I'm supposed to be doing and stuff I'm supposed to be bringing with me to meetings and whatever. But yeah, absolutely. If you're able to use those electronic reminders and calendars and tools, use those to the fullest.
Yeah, but I guess with the comment about like words, right? Like I always thought before that if I say I am this versus I'm trying to be this, in a way, sometimes I feel phony. Like, well, I'm really not this yet. I'm just trying to be this. But then, so I think for me, getting over the mindset, like you have to own it in order to be it, instead of like, oh, because if you're trying, then you're just trying, right? You kind of get a little bit loose on yourself. So
that is the thing. The imposter syndrome comes up sometimes when you're talking about you as a business owner, or a person as a business owner. But yeah, that other thing about, I say I'm a health conscious person, but maybe deep down I know I'm not, or I'm in the process of becoming a health conscious person. There is that thing in the subconscious saying, no, you're not. What are you saying? And you kind of destabilize. And so, there's been a lot of people, a lot of work on that as far as, fake it till you make it, or if you say it enough, you'll believe it. That is an issue for a lot of people. And so I think the best way that I've seen people talk about this is that if you do, maybe don't completely believe it 100%, then try to find a way to reword it that you can really convince yourself. So maybe you don't say, I'm a runner. I mean, you don't say, you have your shoes on the floor and you want to get up in the morning to go running. You don't tell yourself, I'm a runner, but you can always say, I'm a person who's changing their fitness level, or a person who's improving their fitness level, or I'm a fitness supportive person. Something that's maybe a little step down from I'm a runner. That's something you can subconsciously believe, and get you that one step closer to getting where you want to go. Just give you on that first stage maybe of improvement that you can internalize. And at some point you'll start becoming the runner when you do, and he actually talks about this a little bit. When you've done it 3 or 4 days in a row, you've done it 3 or 4 weeks in a row, you are a runner. When you're running 3 days a week for 2 to 3 weeks, you are a runner now. So you can really internalize that and say, I'm a speaker, or I'm a runner, or I'm a successful business person. You may not be Olympic status runner, but getting out there 3 days a week, 3 weeks in a row, you're a runner. Or you're bringing in clients. You got people paying you to do reports for them, or you got people paying you to sell them a house. You're a successful business person. You're a professional, successful business person. Maybe you're not making $1 million a year, but you're getting people to pay you for a service. So you're a successful professional person. So, it's that ways to work the mindset thing that sometimes catches people up, and whatever little tricks you have to do to get you to be thinking about those in the right terms, just use them. And as you start doing those procedures and those practices, you will internalize it more and more. All right, well, let's go ahead and stop the recording. So thanks, everybody.